Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. All right, today I wanted to talk about Jake Ducey's new video, or I don't know how new it is, a couple days old. And it's about a little bit over 30 minutes, but it's kind of jammed packed with good comments, good information. So, Jake Ducey is a YouTuber, speaker, author kind of person, young guy that just kind of taught himself how to make a lot of money doing whatever he wants. And, just motivational in general. This video in particular, where he's talking about Bob Proctor, I guess he said through a series of events, somehow Bob Proctor became his mentor in some way. So I'm not sure if that he paid for a course and then kind of got to know him a little bit, or if he just ran into him somewhere at some event and kind of hit it off. So I'm not sure exactly the connection, but it doesn't really matter. Somehow he got to be able to talk and speak with Bob Proctor and was inspired by him. And there's another YouTuber that I noticed she was talking about Bob Proctor because she had videotaped herself going to one of his events and his houses. I guess he has like a retreat where you actually go to his house and with other people and I don't know, talk about making money. But High Carb Hannah, I specifically remember watching one of her videos. She's a vegan lifestyle YouTuber. I don't know, I just thought it was very interesting to see that she was kind of investing in retreats and courses like that. And now I know Jake Ducey, who is also, they're both very successful at having like a goal in their mind and creating it just from watching all the things they've accomplished. And so that kind of made me think maybe to look into Bob Proctor a little bit more. He was in The Secret. That's kind of how I and most people found out about him. But he had been doing teaching mindset and financial stuff before The Secret. I want to be keep an eye out to hear if other people are taking his courses and going to his retreats that are actually having like real serious measurable results because it's always great if you can actually learn something from somebody, but in the new thought kind of space, it's hard to measure that. This video that Jake Ducey was doing, he was talking about the things that he learned from Bob Proctor and that he kind of implemented himself to end up having $3 million by the time he was 30 with no debt. So I'm just going to kind of go over some things that he talked about that I thought were noteworthy. So number one is don't lower your standards to meet your income, raise your income to your standards. So me personally, I'm one of those people that it's hard for me to spend money on extras. I will live as cheap as possible to have as much money as possible. And I think that is a good thing, but I do notice that I think I'm ready for like a new mindset in some way. And I'm not sure what is right for me because we all have different investment DNA. We all have different ideas of what is fancy or what is valuable into someone's lives. But I'm definitely feeling I'm ready for a kind of upgrade in my lifestyle expectations instead of having so much saving in my life. So that was just kind of like a reminder to me. Don't worry about like living cheap as possible. Maybe worry about making more money to live up to a more fun standard, I'll say. Another thing that he said was he talked about ratios, which I think goes along with the first point, is a really good way to kind of talk about not feeling guilty for having a fancier house for no reason or having a fancier car for no reason. Just because you can afford it, is that the right thing to buy? I think thinking about things in ratios is a great way to kind of organize in your mind. Okay, if I make this much money a year and I spend 10% of that on living and I'm saving 90%, maybe think of things in that way. And I think I'm gonna implement that in my own life because as of right now, if I make money, I save 100% of it. I don't spend it. I feel like I need to shift that mindset as far as my own. Everyone is different and in different places, but I'm at the place where if I make any money, I can put that all of that into savings, into my little money bucket, however you want to say it. Number 3, um, he talked about how much money you make is a reflection on what problems you solve. So I thought this was a great reminder that if you are kind of upset about not having enough money, I think it's a good thing. Just get out a pencil and a paper and start writing down a list of what problems do you solve and how much do you charge to fix those problems. And if it's zero, maybe start thinking of some money making ideas of things with your own skills that you can charge money for. And that's going to be different for everybody. That's a job in some cases for some people. For other people, that's getting clients. And for other people, that's the other solutions, which we'll get into. Number 4, busy versus leisure time. He talked about if you're not busy, maybe kind of come to terms with yourself and say, am I lazy? Is that why I'm not busy? So this for me is kind of a versus thing where it's like you need leisure time. You need time to not feel guilty about taking a week to read a book or taking a week to watch a movie, like a whole, you know, what do they say? When they binge watch something. If it's going to inspire you, just we need to stop feeling guilty for just having free time. So if you need 2 hours in the morning to slowly walk the neighborhood and slowly, write down your goals and slowly this and slowly that. I don't think being busy means that you're productive or that you're achieving your goals in life. I think doing nothing isn't great, but there's like, to me, just always keep in mind leisure is important, having the room to think and room to grow and room to feel amazing and not to always feel like, oh, I didn't do that and I didn't do that. And I had all these plans and I didn't do them. Well, everyone has plans and everyone doesn't get everything done. So it's okay to just slowly achieve things, but leaving space for yourself to do whatever your brain wants to do. And not watching TV, turning off the TV is good and create something. I could go off on a tangent, but let's just like move on here. So let's just go to number 5 is start somewhere and do something to start making money. I guess that kind of goes with the ratio thing and to figure out how much money, what problems you're solving, and how much money you could charge for that. Just start somewhere. If you feel like you want to sell handmade purses, just make one and start somewhere. Even if you have $1 million in your bank account, it doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Money isn't the answer for becoming successful. It's learning how to be successful. And you have to just start somewhere. And you got to make a lot of mistakes, probably. It doesn't have to be a financial mistake. I have tried a lot of businesses and I have not lost very much money because I try things in a way that there isn't much risk. Sometimes people think you got to spend a lot of money to start a business, and you don't all the time. Sometimes it's no money. The time you invest is kind of your investment. So, number 6 is to think about inflation. So, Jake was kind of saying if you're not getting a 20% raise every year, you're probably not meeting inflation. And ultimately, you might be losing money because you're getting the same amount of money every year. And every year, things cost more. And there's nothing you can do about it. So every year, you've got to sort of think of how can I make more money? At least 20% more just to keep moving forward and not going backwards. You could have a job and then a side hustle, or you could have a job and figure out a way to make more money at that job, being more valuable to your job. It's different for everybody. The next thing is that he talked about was to be replaceable. So this is something that, I'm still working on myself. So I was an art director at a record label and got the paycheck thing and learned how to do that. And then I decided that I needed to make my own thing. But in the meantime, while I was building my own businesses, after I quit having the paycheck job, then I got clients, and I probably took clients for way too long, probably 10 years too long. And I I made money by doing client work. So I knew how to make money from just having a job. I knew how to make money just with my brain doing client work, doing things for graphic design and branding and stuff like that, music videos, album covers. So I figured out how to make a living just being my own boss or whatever. And then I realized, yeah, there's only so much money you can make doing all the work yourself. And I didn't want to have a design firm with employees. I just wasn't that passionate about it. So for me, what I am passionate about is making products that people actually want to buy. So I'm focusing on how to make money, not with clients, not with paycheck, but with selling and making royalties on stuff. And that I feel like for me is like I'm kind of replacing myself. Whereas if I make it once and I can sell it a million times, that's kind of my own version of replacing myself. I don't really want employees. So there's all the different ways you can do things, but you've got to make money somehow by not doing all the work every single time. So, number 8, he just learned you have to invest money to earn more money, and you got to teach yourself that. Um, Number 9, he talked about skills, which I'm a big believer in skills. And when you learn something new, have a plan. How can that make you money in the future? And it doesn't have to be skills that you learn on the job or that you pay to learn. Some are like this podcast where I'm practicing talking, and I'm hoping that this podcasting every day during the week and for however many years it takes. I hear sometimes it can take up to 8 years to get successful, but I'm hoping the skills that I'm learning about through talking and just practicing having a podcast and trying to make it real and professional, that skill is going to take me further, maybe in 2 years, maybe in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, but it is something that I can do in the future. So in my 40s and my 50s and my 60s, who knows, in my 80s, podcasting can be a thing, and I will have the skill to make hopefully a valuable show and be making money, just having fun, chatting it up. And then number 10, he talked about an income roadmap, which is I kind of what I'm discussing, where I have business plans where I want to sell paintings, but I don't necessarily want to sell paintings right now. It's kind of a future business that I'm slowly growing and working on, and have a roadmap. So you might have businesses that you do right now today, and that could also be working for another company or having client work or selling whatever it is that you make, but also keep working on future businesses and kind of have a roadmap of all the different ways you could have revenue streams. I think the answer is revenue streams, from investing to businesses and who knows what else. But I guess that's it for today. Sorry for the long show, but thanks for coming and hanging out. Bye.